I'm trying to say is I know you shot Chris.
I did not shoot him.
Holly,
I did not shoot him.
This is what I think happened.
No.
On July 18th, 2018, Holli Osbourne called 911, claiming that she had just found her husband's body lying in his bed, with several gunshot wounds to the upper body. The police noticed that Holli appeared intoxicated, so she was brought in for interrogation.
Holly, when was the last time you slept?
To be honest with you, no freaking idea.
Okay. Did you sleep last night though?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I can't remember it. All I remember is shock when I opened up the bedroom door. So
Sure.
obviously I wasn't in there because I would have known something.
Right. So obviously we need to talk about what's going on today. So let's start with last night. All right. So you don't work normally? Sometimes you work, but not
I
normally?
just worked for him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you work at the office yesterday?
No.
Okay. He worked a normal shift. How long have you guys been together? Okay. When did you get married?
We got married September 11th.
Really?
Yeah.
What year?
2015.
So last night, he comes home from work.
I wasn't there when he came home from work last
Okay.
night.
Where were you at?
Visiting my parents.
Okay. And they're up north somewhere, right?
Yeah, they're up by Bell Fountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time did you get home?
Maybe 8. Yesterday I was with my mom and dad because I was upset that he made a phone call to a bartender or whatever in the middle of the night or something.
What was that out of?
Huh?
What was that out of?
I mean,
Why would he call a bartender?
because he was out with his buddies. I told him I said go ahead and go out with your friends.
Okay, when was that?
Thursday.
Of last week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it was Thursday. So I said, go on, go have some fun. And then that night he never came home.
Okay.
And the reason why I knew it was a bartender because he told me. But I remember calling him, asking him to come home. And then he never came home.
He never came home that night?
No, so when he did come home, that's when I left because I wasn't going to fight. I'm like, oh, because he wanted to kind of lay with me and stuff. And I'm like, no, I told you to come home last night. Why did you stay? And then, so that's when I went to my mom and dad's.
What time would he usually go to bed if he had to be at Mary 10 and 7?
Oh, anywhere between 9 and 10.
Okay.
Roughly.
Do you guys not usually sleep in the same room?
Oh, we do. But I wanted to stay up that night because I still had my beer.
Okay.
So I was finishing my beer, but then, honest to God, from AV, from drinking the beer, I know I had to take my medicine, so I took my Valium, and I tried them to sleep. And honest to God, I'm like, I don't know if I slept. Did I fall asleep in the garage? Because I usually go out there because I don't smoke in the house.
Okay.
So I'll smoke out there, and if I'm still drinking the beer, then I'm just...
So you took your meds last night, and do you know where you slept last night?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't even know if I slept at all. Like, because all I remember was walking into the bedroom and seeing him. And then I didn't want to touch him. He was already scared. So I tried to get the phone. I couldn't find mine.
Holli admits that after a long night of drinking, she took her Valium and doesn't remember anything else until she walked into her bedroom and found her husband. Alcohol and Valium don't mix well, and there's a good chance she killed him while she was blacked out. There is also the possibility that she remembers everything.
Honestly, think there's so much shock that I'm numb.
Right.
And I don't want to think about it right now.
know.
I understand.
And I don't know if that's why I can't remember, because usually I don't have that kind of problem.
You took your meds, did Chris go to bed?
Yeah, he was already in bed.
Okay. You take your meds, what happens next?
And that's where I get fuzzy, because I don't know if I was looking for my phone or what, because that's all I kept thinking about was where the heck is my stupid phone at? And then,
Okay. So you're done smoking your cigarette. What happens next?
I walked into the bedroom
Okay. Why did you walk into the bedroom?
just to do, routine shower, get ready.
Okay. That's where your clothes and stuff are? All right. And describe to me what you see.
All I saw was him laying in blankets,
Okay.
but I seen blood.
The detective draws her attention to a fresh set of scratches on her arm.
Do me a favor. Take a look at your right wrist right here. Your other wrist.
The right one? Oh, what banged into something?
Where'd that come from?
It's hard to say.
I am the most accident-prone person in the world.
Okay.
I
Where'd those come from?
half the time, I don't even know. I could bump into stuff and it don't even hurt. And I could be at work and then I'll have spots and bruises. Look, see? I always have, so I started taking vitamin K. So see, I always have, how did that one hurts.
I would think.
I don't know how that one happened. That one looks new. So, it's hard to say. Now I'm concerned about where that's and anything else hurts. And I got more. You can see them.
How are things going between you and Chris?
90% of the time, fantastic. Then you got other 10% that's just, he has so much stress,
So
disrespectful.
had that been escalating lately?
His temperament, yes.
So things were getting a little more difficult?
I'd say so. I'd agree with that, but it's such a roller coaster. The next week could be fine,
Is that sometimes why you wouldn't sleep in the same bed?
Mm-hmm.
Just easier to go off to your own rooms? And did your arguments ever get to the point where either one of you were pushing or laying hands on each other?
Mm-mm.
Never?
Mm-mm.
Is that, I've talked to other people, and I know you came from an abusive relationship previously.
Mm-hmm.
So,
The only time I ever touched him was when I slapped his face when I found out he cheated on me. Like, that was before we got married.
okay.
And that was face slap.
Since then, it's never,
Never touched him.
okay. Has he ever touched you?
Mm-mm.
None of those bruises on you are from altercations or pushes or shoves?
They're more from, they'll know it because it's all in the house. So, a lot of times he was more of the domineering, you might say. But I will just put it this way, 50 Shades of Grey, but worse. So,
Okay, so they were consensual.
yes.
Okay. So just rough sex.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but that was okay with you.
As long as it didn't get too hard, yeah.
Okay, so some of those marks are probably from that.
Very possible.
Okay.
Yep.
Are any of those marks come from a position of anger? Okay, none.
Without realizing it, Holly just threw away her chances at a self-defense claim. A good lawyer would have argued that the bruises and scratches were from her husband, whom she was deathly afraid of. The lawyer could argue that she was so scared to leave him that she believed her only option to end the abuse was to kill him while he slept.
So, here's the thing. So Chris had been shot.
So why would nobody do anything if they heard something? I don't understand.
That's why I need you to help me.
I'm
No, I understand.
trying, I don't know.
Okay.
Because I would think that, in like small neighborhood, but then I'm like, where the hell was I? I was like, I need to figure out what I was doing. Was I walking? Was I outside the garage smoking? Or, I didn't see anybody,
Right.
but that doesn't mean anything. I guess I just trying to concentrate where I was. And I was laying downstairs watching a movie. I don't remember seeing anything. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary.
You're a nurse who's worked in the ER for a good period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So the part I'm having troubles with is you're trained to help people who have been injured,
Mm-hmm.
but you automatically went right for, I
911.
think he's dead.
I went for 911, exactly what I should have done.
Well, but you never went back in the room.
No, I was too busy listening to them. They were on. We were doing the messaging thing, and then you guys were there in like less than 5 minutes.
Right, but this is the man you love, and you're married to him, right?
Yeah,
And
love my life.
you're the trained medical professional who could render aid if there was aid to be rendered,
I understand what you're saying.
right?
People freeze, and I froze. And right
Well,
now,
but
I'm still numb.
You went automatically to he's dead.
No, I said I think he is.
Okay, but
I wasn't sure, but that's why I did 911 right away. But I had a really bad feeling because when he didn't answer me and he wasn't at work, I knew, and I wouldn't be able to see anything. Like, I was afraid to even touch him because of cold or any of that. I literally went into panic mode, which usually I don't. But then again, I've never had to deal with like death really of my own family or anybody I love.
Well, but if
These are all speculations, and now
Right.
you're just.
Well,
Can't give you an answer.
right, well, and
I
that's,
don't know, and you're telling me I should have done something.
no,
different.
what I'm telling you is this is where I have a gap, and I'm trying to fill that gap in.
Well, if I can fill it in, I'll fill it in.
Okay,
But-
and that's
That's all I know. All I know is if I take sleeping medicine, I go to sleep. So that's apparently my only flaw.
no, I'm not saying this is a flaw. I'm just trying to, if you're taking Valium, would that wake you up? If a loud noise happened in the house?
No, not if I had a couple beers and my Valium. No.
How often does that happen?
Like somebody would have to sometimes even my daughter can shake me and she can't wake me up.
There was a gun that was found there that's a Smith & Wesson 38, like an air weight. Do you know what that is? It's a gun that doesn't have a hammer on it.
Oh, so you're saying it's like the one you said looked like brush.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
little bit.
that's Chris's.
Okay. That had 3 rounds expelled out of it this morning.
Everybody we know that knows we have guns. There's nobody that we wouldn't trust.
And then, why wouldn't they steal something if that's what they wanted?
Right. So here's where I'm trying to come around to. If there's a reason that you're going to have gunshot residue on you, all right, because if it's there, we're going to find it, right? If there's a reason that you need to tell me that something else happened today, I need to know that reason, right? Because as it stands right now, this is a very suspicious death.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
It is.
I know you guys are having trouble.
But it's not like I'm on anything either. It's not like I'm not beneficiary of anything I know about, or so.
But
I have no idea.
He's done some pretty crappy things to you lately.
A lot of people get crappy things that don't cause you to kill nobody.
I don't disagree with you.
No.
All right, but that's obviously, as a person sitting in my world, that's a concern. All right.
All I can say is I didn't do it, and that's as much as I'm going to say anymore. I can't speculate. I can try
I don't want you to
cooperate
speculate. I don't want you to
in
speculate.
any way I can, but I
think you've been very
I
cooperative
didn't
and very
do it.
helpful with us.
So right now, I need my family.
Okay, I understand that. So we'll go out here and see if I can't call somebody for you. Right, we'll kind of decide what's next. Okay. There's a big gap of time in your story. During that gap of time, your husband is killed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You guys are
I
having
know how bad that looks,
you guys are having some issues.
which that's been going on forever.
Right.
I mean, teeter
Right, but
tottering.
you gotta,
Bad times.
yeah, you gotta put yourself in my position.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
I already know how it looks.
Right. So, these are obvious questions, and and I want to understand, if you're involved in this, what happened. Do you think there's a chance that you could have done this and
No
not be
blackouts.
aware of it?
No.
Without any evidence showing that Holly shot and killed her husband, the police were forced to let her go. During the following week, Holly would take more than $40,000 out of her husband's bank account, and she removed furniture from the home. 2 weeks after her husband's death, the detectives asked Holly to come back in for another interview.
When you were telling me when you found him, the door was cracked to the bedroom?
That's what I remember, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to put my cards on the table, all right? Because I have the gunshot residue test back. I have the DNA test back.
Okay.
All right. Your DNA is the only DNA on that gun. Chris's DNA is not on that gun. The gunshot
It's
residue.
impossible.
The gunshot residue, all right, was at a level that was so high they reached their maximum testing. All right. And when people break into a house and they shoot somebody, on their way out, they don't close the bedroom door, just to a crack. So
I
Holly,
understand
listen to
what you're
me.
trying to say.
What I'm trying to say is I know you shot Chris.
I did not shoot him.
Holly, this
I
is
did
what
not shoot him.
this is what I think happened.
No.
All right, because of the way everything's set up, you are posting stuff that makes me think that
That is
here we go
nothing.
again.
We could pull them all over again. These
You
are
have-
nothing. This is not making me a
Holly,
killer.
stop. All right, you have multiple attempts in the past.
Yeah, for
Right.
myself.
So
I would never hurt him, no.
here's what I think happened. All right, because when you shot him,
I did not
you
shoot
didn't
him.
kill him.
I did not
All right,
shoot
those
him.
gunshot wounds did not kill
I
him.
did not shoot him.
All right, I think you were going to kill yourself after you killed him because this had gone too far. You were getting ready to lose everything.
Never take anybody with me.
And here we go, you shoot him, because there's no other explanation for this, Holly. There is no other
I don't
explanation.
have
for it.
any explanations. I already gave you everything I know, and I did not do
There's
this.
no other explanation for it, Holly. Nobody just breaks into your house and randomly shoots somebody. BJ did not owe him
I didn't say-
$20,000.
I don't know. I'm just telling you what
I'm
Chris told
telling
me.
you that for 27 years I've been doing this job, okay? And nothing else shows me that anybody else did this but you. All right? I know you did this.
I did not.
And I can understand the why behind it.
No, there is
But-
no why, because I didn't do it.
Holly, the evidence doesn't lie.
No, did not do it.
The evidence does not lie.
Then how would I sit there and end up with bruises and everything else and with no memory? Explain that one.
How did you explain it to me?
I can't.
You
I
guys had rough sex the Saturday night beforehand, and you get bruises all the time. People tell me you go down the stairs periodically in your alcoholic blackouts.
What do you mean go down the stairs?
You fall.
I do not sit there and fall everywhere. And if I fell on
You're telling me that he hit you then, because up until now you never said anything about that.
I want a lawyer.
That's fine. You're free to go.
Holly was allowed to leave again, and a year would go by before they would have enough evidence to charge her with murder.
And I represent the state of Ohio in this matter. This is a case of jealousy and insecurity, and how the defendant, Holli Osbourne's jealousy and insecurity caused her to kill her husband. The defendant began to fixate on any evidence that pointed towards Christopher Osbourne's infidelity. Any evidence of him being unfaithful, day after day, breakup to makeup became the cycle. On or about July 13th, Dr. Osbourne went out with some friends. And while he went out, he met a waitress. They engaged in some conversations and exchanged phone numbers. He later went on to text her that night. The defendant found out very quickly, within hours. They began to argue again. His faithfulness was called into question. Those arguments led to the defendant moving out of their marital home and moving in with her parents. Dr. Osbourne went to sleep. The defendant didn't. You'll learn that in the early hours of July 18th, the defendant couldn't take it anymore. She went to a nightstand located in their shared room next to their bed, and she armed herself with one of the handguns. She aimed it and shot Dr. Osbourne 3 times. You'll hear from neighbors that heard loud noises, bangs.
We, the jury, being duly impaneled and sworn in this case, find the defendant, Holli M. Osbourne, guilty of murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment. Members of the jury, this case is adjourned. You are now released from all of your admonitions. If you are open to talking about your experience or have questions, you can remain in the jury room, and I will come back shortly to speak with each of you. As to count 1, murder, the court is going to impose 15 years to life. As there was a 3-year gun specification that's required to be run consecutively to the 15 years, it would be for a total sentence of 18 years to life.
In the end, Holly would be found guilty of murdering her husband because she caught him texting another female. What are your thoughts on this case? Is 18 years in prison a fair sentence for murdering someone in their sleep? Please share your thoughts in the comments below.